In this lesson, we're going to take the client profile wireframe and turn it into a high fidelity wireframe, aka finished design. So I'm going to click on the client profile wireframe and hit Command D or Control D to make a duplicate. I'm then going to drag that down to the bottom where we have our finished designs. And let's go ahead and rename this client profile dash design. All right, to finish this up, first off, let's go ahead and delete this notification bell and grab this other one with the notification, and we'll paste that in with Command V or Control V. And for this, it's 100 by 100, so we'll go ahead and delete that. And we'll hold Alt and drag this over and shrink it down to the exact same thing, 100 by 100. And we'll go ahead and space that 50 from the bottom of the arrow. For the keyboard ink, I'm gonna go ahead and change that to blue. And for this icon, we need to lighten that up a little bit because we have black over here as the name. We don't want that to clash, so we're gonna change that to gray. For this card, I'm actually going to go to the home screen and hold Alt and grab that background. And we're gonna use that here, so we'll just drag that in. And Command Shift left square bracket key will send it all the way to the back. And I'm going to select the gray rectangle now and delete it. We can change this text to white. And for this text, we did end up scaling down the text that we used over here to, I believe, 15 and regular weighted font. So we're gonna go ahead and do that with this one as well. So we'll change it to white and we'll go down to 15 and then regular for the weight. And so we'll need to fix the spacing on this. So I'll select that, hold Alt, and we need to bump it up 1 pixel. Make sure that they're centered, and we'll have to recenter it inside of that card. So we'll have to do that for these as well. So I'm gonna ungroup them with Command Shift G or Control Shift G. Grab both of these, and we'll go down to 15, and then regular weight. And I'm also gonna set this to the secondary font so we can grab that gray color, and we'll need to fix the spacing to 13. Make sure they're still centered. And then we can group those with Command G or Control G. And then realign them centered in the card. Next, I'm going to turn the card to white. So just changing the fill. And we need to apply a shadow to that. And we're going to do 5. And then 20. And then we'll change that shadow to what we've been using, which is 2C3658 at 9% opacity. I'm going to right click on one of these rectangles and hit copy. Then down here, I'm going to right click, paste appearance, and that's going to add that same drop shadow and fill to this box as well. We're also going to need a drop shadow for this. So instead of remaking it, I'm just gonna move this one over and grab that and hold Alt to create a duplicate and move that back into position. And then we'll drag this over to our design. Match it up, Command Shift, left square bracket key, send it all the way to the back. So now we have a drop shadow on that one. For the settings gear, same thing goes up here. We don't want this black, especially now because this title is not black. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop that down to a gray. Now we need to create the toggles for these. So we can very easily make these. I'm just going to increase the height to 30. And with that, we're gonna have to adjust some spacing. I thought it was 24, but I was incorrect. We'll fix that. And then for the width, I'm gonna set that to 52. So we'll make sure that is in line 20 from the side of this card, and it should be 20 from the bottom of that settings icon. So next I'm going to grab this dot and drag all the way in. And this gray color that we're using, I'm just going to drop it down to 27%, so it's a bit lighter. Next I'm going to create a circle. So I'm going to hold Shift to make it a perfect circle. And this is going to be 22 by 22. I'm going to remove the border, and we're just going to position that 4 pixels from this left side edge. I'm going to add a drop shadow of 2 on the Y value and 4 for the blur. And I'm going to leave this default black, but I'm going to increase this to 33% opacity so it's even darker. So I'm just going to duplicate that whole thing by holding Alt and dragging down on it. And this time I'm going to put the dot on the other side, 4 pixels from the right side edge, and we'll change this to blue, and we'll turn the opacity all the way back up to 100%. So then I'm going to select both of those and hit Command G or Control G to group them together. Same thing. Grab this one, hold Shift, grab the background, Command G. So there is our toggle switch, nice and easy, and they're large enough for the user to actually click on them. So we have 20 spacing from the below this cog. Let's try 20 spacing below that, and let's center these texts up with these newly made toggles. And 17 from the bottom is not too bad. So let's take a look at that. So I'm going to uncheck the layout grid, and we can take a look at what we have. Here is our client profile. It easily displays the total money we've spent. People can see how many jobs we've done, and our rating is 93% positive. Then we've got a quick settings menu with access to the full menu with that cog. And we also created these 2 UI switches so that we can toggle on and off these settings very easily. So that is it for the client profile screen. I hope you enjoyed that one. As always, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next lesson.